Now, NBC25 Sports.
The final weekend of interleague play begins tonight across the MLB as Detroit visits the Steel City for their second engagement with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Detroit took 2 of 3 from the Buccos last month at Comerica Park and need a win tonight to get back to the 500 mark for the first time since May 15th. Beautiful night at PNC Park. It was also Free T-Shirt Friday. Who doesn't love some free T-shirts? Some Pittsburgh fans right there. And there's Tigers skipper Jimmy Leyland, who still calls Pittsburgh his home. He looks on from the dugout. Nothing very homely about this trip to the Berg, however. All Pirates early. No score. Bottom one, not anymore. Neil Walker singles to center. Alex Presley scores. It's 1-0 Pirates. And here's your stat of the night, folks. Pirates 20-9 this season when they score first. Let's see if it holds up. Still in the first, runners on the corners. Garrett Jones, 5-4, 3-double play. Neil Walker scores, though, and it's 2-0 Buccos. Bottom of the second with 2 on. A.J. Burnett. He helps his own cause here. Look at this beautiful bunt. Tigers pitcher Doug Fister all the way into left field with that throw. Costly error there. Ball goes all the way down the left field line into foul territory. Pedro Alvarez and Rod Barajas both score on the play just like that. It's 4-0 Pittsburgh. Jump ahead to the fourth. Burnett's cruising, winding and working here to Miguel Cabrera. He blows away Miggy with some high cheese. Pirates win game 1 of the series 4-1. Burnett's won 7 straight for the first time since '05. Meanwhile, the eyes of the hockey world also gazing upon Pittsburgh tonight with the 2012 NHL Draft taking place at the Consol Energy Center. Top pick in this year's draft belonged to the Edmonton Oilers, who are drafting first overall for the 3rd consecutive year. Hey, Oilers GM Steve Tambolini, who did your team take with the top overall pick?
The Edmonton Oilers are so proud to select from the Sarnia Sting, Nail Yakupov.
The rest of the top 5 rounded out. Yakupov was a standout for the Sarnia Sting of the OHL last season. He recorded 69 points in 42 games for Sarnia in the 2011-12 campaign, leading the team with 12 power play goals and a +15 rating. Yakupov also represented his native Russia at the 2012 World Junior Championships and tied for the tournament lead with 9 assists, leading the Russians to the silver medal. The Red Wings also had a first-round pick, the 19th overall selection, but they traded it away to the Tampa Bay Lightning for defenseman Kyle Quincy back in February. Oh, by the way, the Lightning chose Russian goalkeeper Andrei Vasilevsky with that pick. The draft concludes on Saturday at 10 a.m. Over to the links. Earlier today, the 101st Michigan Amateur wrapped up at Oakland Hills Country Club in Bloomfield Township. This year's big winner was Drew Preston of Ada. He took down Tom Workmeister of Kentwood in the final round of match play with a 2-up victory. Preston, who's just 21 years old, called it a long week. In fact, he had to race all the way back to Ohio after Monday's opening round to take his History of Nazi Germany final exam at Bowling Green State University. Meanwhile, the runner-up, Workmeister, he's on the complete opposite end of the life spectrum. He's a 44-year-old internet salesman who won the 2009 Michigan Amateur. Workmeister had an early 2-up lead in today's championship match, but fell behind for good after the 15th hole. And wrapping things up down on the farm after a 4-day hiatus due to the Midwest League All-Star break. Time for the second half of the season to begin for the Great Lakes Loons. They opened up with a 6-game road trip that began tonight in Lansing against the Lugnuts. Good news for Loons fans. They win the first game of the second half in shutout fashion, 4-0 over Lansing. And also, Dylan, looks like the Tigers, they're going to have to wait a couple more days to get back to 500.
And Jerry, let's talk about Jerry Sandusky. You're a Penn State grad. A lot of folks at home probably don't know that. What did this do to the community around Penn State, just that part of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's tough, you know, because everyone has a lot of Penn State pride. Right. So when this happened, you know, all of a sudden Penn State became synonymous with Jerry Sandusky, which is obviously not what you want. But as a Penn State alum, and as I'm sure a lot of Penn State alums out there, happy to see this incident now behind you, and you know, you can start to move forward and begin the healing process.
Looking at some of the reporters that were inside the courtroom, they're saying 60 years is the sentence he's looking at once they actually do get to the sentencing portion of the trial. What did you think of the crowd outside of the courtroom? Almost circus-like there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Bellefonte. It's a very small town. There's not a lot to do there, and I'm sure that this is one of those, you know, moments that everyone in the city who's a member of the city community will remember. And of course, Center County other than Penn State, there's not a lot going on there. So, the whole eyes of the world on Center County and Bellefonte tonight is certainly sort of a cathartic moment for the county and for the school as well.
Right. And lastly, as someone associated with Penn State, how do you try and move on? What is the healing process?
Well, football. A couple months away, right?
Yeah.
Summer practice starts in July, guys. See you there.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Jared.